up? What's up, everybody? We are live. Are you guys in the building? Check us out. If you're in the chat, make sure you guys hit that like button, share this video with your friends. We are going live on a Friday because we had a rehearsal on Tuesday and we could not do the stream as we usually do. So we said we got to get it in this week. We cannot miss 2 weeks without doing the podcast. There's too much going on in the world, stuff we need to talk about. There's a lot of stuff happening, things that we missed on Tuesday that we want to talk about. So if you're here, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Again, you are here. You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Young Lion TV. We're live. You know we do this 100% live. We try to keep everything rolling. We got the visuals, we got the effects, we got the intros, sound effects, and we got the live clips that we pull up all ourselves, because this is just conversations that we like to have as men that kind of grew up together and have been doing this thing. So if this is your first time tuning in with us, again, the Young Lion podcast, this is something that we started doing a while ago because we noticed that there wasn't a lot of men having conversations, real conversations, about life, about culture, about their faith, and it's something that we've been passionate about because we've been led back to our faith in Jesus Christ along our journey in life and learning and growing and making mistakes and realizing that the other paths just are not as good. They lead to destruction. So we decided to start filming these conversations that we were having. Well, not filming them, doing them live. And watching the impact that it had on a lot of people. And, it's been a blessing. And if it's something that you want to support and get behind, we do have a Patreon. That link is in the description where you can sign up and become a member and join the pride. Shout out to all of our Patreon members who have been supporting us forever. And, some people have been locked in with us for 6 years now, just constantly supporting. And we appreciate you guys. But we do want to grow it. So if you guys want to jump on there, if you appreciate this type of conversations and you think that they need to happen more, we want you guys to head on over to the patreon.com/YoungLionTV. And also we have a merch store, which is on our band's website. We are a band as well. We play music, do live shows, been doing production, touring, MTV, for over 20 years now. And that's our band, jatan.com/shop, where you can get merch, and our music is on there as well. Do got to make an announcement. We have a show that we want everybody to come to. If you're in the Philly and Jersey area, all of our people out there, we are at the City Winery in Philadelphia in the Loft on November 1st. That show is coming up next Saturday. So make sure you guys come out, see us live. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be doing music that we've never done before and music that we've done a long time ago and haven't done in a very long time. So it's going to be a good show. We appreciate all the people who have got tickets already. Make sure you go get your tickets at citywinery.com/Philadelphia. Get your tickets now. Get yourself a good seat. We'll see you guys in the building. Other than that, yeah, that's it, man. I got the fellas with me in the building. I got my brothers here, of course, rocking the Grateful hat. I see you. He is the coolest Asian in the podcast world. I guarantee it. Mr. Simone Chang is in the building with me today. Shout out to my brother. He forgot his microphone.
Always. How y'all doing?
You would think that he's never done this before.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that cable. We still gotta replace that cable, man. And of course, he's my big brother, but he's everybody's big brother. He is the preacher, teacher, people, reacher, Jacob Eugene Evans III in the building. Yeah. And we got holding it down. She coming in on a Friday night for us. Made herself available. I almost forgot to tell her we switched today. I did forget to tell her. She's our mother. We love her. Everybody loves her. Miss Angelique Lopez. over there on the production, switching the cameras, bringing up the clips, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm over here trying to hold down everything and make sure everything runs smoothly and that we hit our topics and we don't get too long-winded. So I'm going to try to navigate these waters over here. And my name is Jamie Evans. And yeah, we are the Young Lions, aka Jatan, aka the Brothers. But we just gonna get into some topics, man. How's everybody been? You know, it's been a long time since we got together. Not got together, but since we did the podcast.
Yeah, right.
We've gotten together many times.
Like, I just saw you.
Right.
Did this podcast in the same room, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Last week it was just me and you in here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I had a game.
Yeah, so you were on the remote.
No.
You were here.
Was that on the remote?
Yeah, you were on the remote.
Oh.
You were on the remote last week, yeah. You and James.
Yeah, dude. Things are just so
Yeah.
blurred. I can't even remember.
Because I remember.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
Because we did a
I'm
whole
thinking of
thing
this
about
weekend,
the
this week.
What's her name? Jackie.
Bill Perry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her and her husband and that other guy that were talking. We did a whole thing about them, which I'm still posting clips up of that, by the way. Yeah, one of our clips, the Andrew Schultz clip where he was talking about Charlie Kirk, that's getting some traction right now. Yeah, shout out to the YouTube channel getting traction over there.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're on there now, make sure you drop a comment, say hello, tell us what's up, join in on the conversation. You know, we appreciate all the comments that we get. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, and Twitch right now. It's all simulcasting, so we appreciate all the people over there who are watching and sharing the video. But yeah, man, it's been a lot going on. You know, there was a whole ceasefire that got negotiated. Apparently, hostages got released. That was big news.
Yeah.
That was a good thing to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw pictures of this one 22-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid. Handsome young man. And he doesn't even look like what he looked like in the picture. But I'm glad that, you know.
He didn't look like. What do you mean in the picture? Like he had lost a lot of weight.
Lost a lot of weight.
He
He
looked like
just
he looks like he was a skeleton.
he aged, you know.
I mean, yeah, that cat.
10 years.
2 years of being a hostage.
Yeah.
You can imagine what that would do to you. You know.
Malnutrition.
Yeah.
They had him digging his own grave.
Wow.
Yeah, while he was in there.
That is like, man, a psychological torture
Right?
of that.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen other videos of family seeing them for the first time. It's just makes you want to cry. It's like they're like just so happy to see them sobbing. It's
Yeah, I got some of those videos. If you could pull this up, Mom, play a little bit of that just to show what he's talking about.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. איזה חיים! חיים שלי! האור שלי, הלב שלי! הלב שלי, הלב שלי! די, זה מאחורינו. נשמות שלי! שנתיים, יום יום!
Yeah, I mean, you can only imagine not seeing your family member for 2 years and thinking that you probably may never see them again.
Yeah.
Here's another clip. It's like they can't believe that they're actually seeing them.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, timeline was filled with these great moments. This is a reunion between a Palestinian hostage and their loved one.
So he was held hostage in Gaza.
I guess. I just was seeing these clips of like hostages being released. An emotional reunion between a released Palestinian hostage and his daughter. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely good to see some kind of conflict coming to an end there. Who knows what?
But
Yeah.
did you see the videos of Hamas executing people in public?
No, what? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that trending after the because they were talking about, I don't know how true it is, but I was seeing, videos of that.
People who were against Hamas, they were rounding up people who were conspiring against Hamas, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Killing their own.
Yeah, Hamas is currently doing mass executions in Gaza, who they believe collaborated with Israel and Trump. Great withdrawal. Hamas finally able to conduct public executions of peace. Head of pleas for international community to protect Gazans against Hamas executions. Yeah, wow, I didn't even see this. That's crazy.
You think they were trying to suppress it?
Could be. But as soon as I search it, I see a bunch of videos, news stories.
Yeah. There were real videos because some of them were blurred out.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch them.
Yeah.
But I see there are videos, like, they're definitely there. Yeah, breaking. Hamas continues public executions of Palestinians who are trying to retreat or who are trying to retrieve aid from Hamas, who stole the aid. Oh, that was back in 2024. That's old. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. War is hell. You got these terrorist groups that they're not gonna just give up.
No.
They're not gonna stop. So,
what do you do?
What do you do?
Where do you go? Where do we go? Where do we go from there?
What happens now? Yeah, like when you look at the devastation of the area, have you guys seen images of that? Like what Gaza looks like. Like, man, you get freed and you come home to this, you know.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. Israel and Hamas trade blame as return of bodies threatens Gaza ceasefire. Israel accused Hamas of withholding the bodies of hostages, while Hamas said the bodies of Palestinians returned by Israel showed signs of torture. So they're both still kind of like blaming each other and trying to, oh, you did this. No, you did this. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we just try to focus on the positives of it. But I tell you what, it is funny to see, like, when the ceasefire was announced, when these hostages got released. Not funny, but it is interesting to see how certain people didn't even bring it up.
Yeah.
People that were, like, constantly talking about this, talking about, you know, the genocide and ceasefire and, you know, the AOCs, the squad members, they had nothing to say.
Because TDS They don't want to give no credit.
No credit to Trump, but you could even just mention that we're glad it's over.
Yeah.
You know, they because they're not glad it's over. They need to have something to pontificate about and pretend like they have a cause. It's like
Pontificate.
It's like Greta Thunberg, right? Mm-hmm. When the climate thing, she couldn't grift off of that anymore. She moved over to the Gaza thing. Like that was her new grift. Mm-hmm. And now she's gonna have to find something else. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Let me show this video of this dude talking about it.
So for 2 years, pro-Palestine individuals were terrorizing colleges, assaulting people that didn't agree with them, assaulting Jews for just being Jews, because they wanted a ceasefire and stop the genocide. Well, that's happened thanks to President Trump. And where's all the celebration for all that hard work? How come they're nowhere to be found celebrating the good news? It's almost as if it was never about that to begin with.
Yeah, because it was never about that. Anybody that knows the truth knows.
What's that dude's name? Sam something. Sam, is it Sam Cedar?
Sam Cedar? Yeah, he's one of those. He's one of them. Yeah.
No, he actually gave Trump credit.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yeah. I think it's the same. He's the leftist guy, and I think Tim Pool talks about all the time. I saw a video of him.
Well, because his entire existence on YouTube is talking about Tim Pool. That's why.
But the dude has pretty bad TDS, but he actually gave Trump credit.
Well, wow, that's interesting. Let's see. Sam Cedar gets into another heated debate. Nope, that's not it.
I saw it on something.
I don't know. You might be making it up. Bro. I don't see nothing about Sam Cedar.
I'm gonna try to find it.
Yeah, see if you could. Sam Cedar.
Sure, it's not the other Sam.
Sam who? Sam
Jewish,
Harris.
Sam.
You
Is
think
it Sam? Is it
Sam Harris was part of the intellectual dark web.
No, Sam Smith.
Sam Smith is the singer.
No, sorry.
You guys are getting all your Sams.
The guy who
I think you're talking about Sam
Jewish
Harris.
guy?
Sam,
Because it came up right away.
Sam Harris.
Yeah, Sam
Yes.
Harris, who often described as having TDS, gives Trump his due.
Yeah.
That's because Sam Harris is a Jew, so he's an
atheist, right?
Yeah, he's
an atheist.
Yeah. Okay, let's play Sam Harris giving Trump.
Feel done.
I knew it
And
was
that's something
Sam.
I don't believe you believe would have happened
Yeah,
under
that's him.
a President Harris.
It pains me somewhat to admit this, but yes, he's certainly been good for the Middle East and for Israel in a way that I don't think there was any reason to expect Harris to be good. And Biden certainly wasn't good, apart from the first few weeks after October 7th, or maybe a couple of months after October 7th.
Wow, that is huge for him.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I remember we showing videos of him talking about like how they should have stole the election from Trump. That's how bad he was. Like,
Yeah.
Like he has horrible TDS.
Which one is Sam Cedar?
Sam Cedar is, hold on, I'll pull up a picture of him so you can. He is the one who is obsessed with Tim Pool, though. Sam Cedar did one of those
Oh yes. Okay. Now I know that. Now I know the
This guy.
difference.
Raise the cap.
This guy.
There's a cap right now at $176,000. So, for instance, if you make $100,000, you pay $6,200.
Okay, we don't need to hear him with his flawed logic, but yeah, that's Sam Cedar. Let's listen to this black woman, and
Woman.
when you see her, you're gonna be like, oh boy, because she got the look,
The glasses.
the glasses,
Big old glasses.
but let's listen to her.
Of course, we know that President Trump has brokered a deal to ensure a ceasefire and release of hostages from Hamas to Israel. We know that this has happened. But did you get a chance to check out Barack Obama's statement? Now, there was nothing inherently wrong with the statement, but there is something I noticed. But let me read it to you first, and then I'll come back with my commentary. After 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israeli families and the people of Gaza, we should all be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight, that those hostages still being held will be reunited with their families, and that vital aid can start reaching those inside Gaza whose lives have been shattered. More than that, though, it now falls on Israelis and Palestinians, with the support of the U.S. and the entire world community, to begin the hardest task of rebuilding Gaza, and to commit to a process that, by recognizing the common humanity and basic rights of both peoples, can achieve a lasting peace. End of statement. Did you notice something there, or not notice something there? While I appreciate him for not creating drama around this topic, which a lot of the Democrats love to do, I find it interesting that it's so difficult for them to, at the same time, acknowledge President Trump for his work in that.
They can't do it.
He is who has ordered that deal. I find it interesting that it's so difficult to give credit where credit is due, because we're so busy pushing this narrative of he's horrible, he's awful. And what happened if you actually say he did something great?
They can't. They can't give him a win at all costs. It's oppose Trump. Trump is horrible. He's Hitler. He's a fascist. He can't do anything right. Even I remember the one of the ladies on The View, the one that's supposed to be like a conservative, she before was talking about if Trump gets the hostages released, it'll be a huge win. She'll come on the show and wear a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
She ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
All of them still wouldn't give him credit, you know.
And a lot of times I notice when people are confronted with like these truths, like say they're doing an interview or whatever, like you see they have these talking points and they bring this stuff up. Not just that, but I'm saying like anything of truth, right? A lot of times then they go to, well, what was his true intention?
Yeah.
Like, so they'll try to,
right. Or the narrative of like, no, this deal, Biden had set up this deal already and Trump really didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They always use that.
Yeah.
But
they're
by them
piggybacking on the other president's economy.
Yeah.
But by them behaving this way, people are waking up.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, look what Trump did. A lot of people are saying.
I mean, Sam Harris coming out and giving Trump his props, that's a huge step in a different direction.
Yeah.
Because his TDS is off the charts. Let's look at this Fox News mashup that they made of the squad members and other Democrats, reactions.
I am a co-sponsor of the ceasefire resolution. This is not war. This is chaos.
We are calling for an end of this violence, not a break in the violence. The temporary pauses are not enough. We need a permanent ceasefire now. We need an end to the genocide.
That is why we are here. An end to this one-sided war, an end to the weapon sales, and asking for a ceasefire. Ceasefire now!
And they weren't asking for the hostages to be released in addition to that. But anyway, Eli Lake from the Free Press wrote that the hostages return home and the lies fall apart. For the ceasefire now crowd, the end of the fighting has been a bit of a drag. While everybody else was very joyous, they were very quiet yesterday, Trey.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I think President Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for doing something no one else has been able to do, which is get the squad to be quiet. The only one who said anything equated the release of Palestinian murderers with hostages who had to witness murder. The only member of the squad who said anything. So, look, everyone, Obama, Clinton, even Chuck Schumer, every reasonable person realizes this is historic. And what Donald Trump has done, whether you like him or you don't, but the squad's hatred for both President Trump and the Jews is so powerful that they can't even bring themselves to congratulate him for ending a war. It's really sad. I mean, if you study psychology, it's sad that they hate someone and a group of people this much.
Yeah, and he's hit the nail on the head there. It's like their hate for Trump, and in a lot of ways for Jews, is so high that they just cannot give him anything. They cannot say one nice thing about him. I think, didn't they do that in the debates where they tried to get them to say one nice thing about Trump or something like that? I remember, and they couldn't do it.
I mean, isn't it? I always see these memes and these things going around about how hard it is for women to say sorry.
Yeah,
and they're all women.
Yes,
it's hard for them to see the other side.
Yeah.
It's hard to see where somebody did something. It's hard to give somebody credit.
Yeah. I also see the memes where like women, what you ever see the memes where women are like running or like will do anything to avoid the word accountability.
Yeah.
Like dodge through, broken glass.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like that's all women, but I think this is the trope that is connected to these type of women.
Yeah. And a lot of ambitious boss type women. When you look at even Jasmine Crockett and Ayanna Presley and Cori Bush, I believe. The other woman, and even Nancy Pelosi. Did you guys see that clip of Nancy Pelosi yelling at that journalist? It is.
I think I saw an AI version of it.
An AI version?
Yeah. They were just saying ridiculous stuff.
Oh, no, check this out.
I thought it was real at first.
Someone was asking her about the January 6th committee doing this investigation. Is she worried about her turning down National Guard? What's your reaction to this?
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day? Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable?
First of all, she's got to be led away. She got to hold on to staff.
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you.
Bro. That's wild. Like
that was the same.
She told her, shut up. Like, just what would Trump say? Nasty woman.
Nasty.
That is
Nancy
a
Pelosi.
nasty woman.
The version that I saw was the reporter asking about is your husband still sleeping with the naked guy with the hammer or something like that?
And she goes, shut up.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, like, for her to react like that, just from someone asking her a valid question.
Yeah.
But again, when you have women that have been in a position of power, getting away with everything they could get away with. I mean, she's been in control of Congress for how long? I'm not Congress, the House.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's got an app.
Yes, a tracker app. A tracker app because she does better than Warren Buffett in stock trading. So for her to be challenged at all, and you've seen this in other interviews when, like, even when she was on, I've seen her with Anderson Cooper, with Jake Tapper. Like, if they challenge her at all, it's a straight up attitude. Like, how dare you even ask me a tough question? That's crazy.
That is very crazy.
I mean, it's not. It's entitlement.
Yeah. But again, talking about women in those positions. So moving on, there was a huge debate last night for the mayoral race. This is other important news too, because I don't know if you guys seen this, but it's between Mamdani and Cuomo right now, and it's seeming like Mamdani is pulling away, like undefeatably away.
How?
Bro, I don't know.
How like New York City, did you see how he's talking about taxes and stuff like that? And 50%, 52%
of, well, the highest earners.
Yeah, the highest earners. Like, but still though, if you made $1 million in New York City and you're living that lifestyle, that's not that much.
Yeah. And then I see people, liberals, especially a lot of black New York liberals, posting the clip of him talking about Cuomo. Because they asked him how he's going to pay for this bus situation that's going to cost $700 million because he wants to make buses free. And he was like, well, same way Andrew Cuomo gave over $900 million in tax subsidies to Elon Musk to build a Tesla plant in New York. And I see people posting that like, oh, yeah, they got money to do it, but now we don't got $700 million. And I'm like, do y'all know the difference between a tax subsidy and just using $700 million to make buses free? Yeah. Those are two different concepts.
They just look at it. It's money.
They just hear money numbers. They hear numbers.
Yeah.
Like, because he said that on the stage, like, oh, he gave $900 million in tax subsidies to Elon Musk. And people just think they hear Elon Musk, they get triggered, they hear 900 million, and they're like, oh yeah, you could do it for him, but you can't do it for us for free buses. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like inventing $700 million out of people's taxpayer dollars to pay for free busing all over this. And you know how disastrous that will be if busing is free?
Oh my goodness.
I don't think they understand. But let's play this clip Go ahead.
Public transportation is already not that expensive.
Yeah, but when you're a socialist communist, you want it to be free. You want to tell everybody that they're just going to get things for free. Because why? Because then you end up with a big lead in the polls.
Yeah.
Because people they're like children when someone's running for class president. You tell them they're going to get free lunch and they're going to get, study halls in every period. And they're like, yeah, vote for that guy. No homework. I'm ending homework. If you vote for me for class president,
you can't
I'm ending homework.
Can you do that? Yeah, I can.
Yeah. All right, but let's play this CNN clip breaking down his polling after the debate.
No sign that the race is tightening at all, Cape Baldwin. If anything, Zora Mamdani's lead is getting bigger, wider, larger. You look in September in a three-way, Mamdani was at 45, Cuomo 15 points back, Curtis Lee, the Republican at 17. Look at where we are now. Mamdani is actually up. He's up to 49%. Then you got Cuomo at 31%, so a 15-point advantage back in September on the average. Now it is 18 points. The bottom line is this. Andrew Cuomo needs something very big to change at this particular point, unless, of course, he becomes Teddy Roosevelt overnight. Because if something doesn't change over the final 2.5 weeks of this campaign, this race is pretty much over.
Mm-hmm. So New York is going all in on a socialist.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
Not only a socialist.
But Cuomo is horrible too. But then that guy is worse. Like really, if you look at it.
Oh yeah, I mean he did call out Cuomo for killing a bunch of people during COVID. He did call him out for that. Yeah. But let's watch this clip because this shows a lot about what else he's trying to push in the city.
Their death in nursing homes. That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have an experience, I make up for in integrity.
Oh no, that was the nursing homes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Want to respond?
That was
and
the
if we
nursing
have a
home.
health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes? That's the kind of experience that's on offer.
It's funny how when they're battling each other, they want to talk about that. But when we were talking about that for years, they tried to lie about it, said, no, that's not what happened. But anyway, I wanted to show this clip because this is him. This is him going off on Cuomo about his. Just watch it.
In the Democratic primary, for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that is totally false. I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
before I was here?
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Yeah. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups,
you couldn't visit a mosque.
Yep.
But that's just the point that Mamdani, he wants to make New York Muslim like they did. What's that city that this all Muslim now?
Dearborn, Michigan, Minneapolis.
That's what he's trying to do.
The other districts in Minnesota that what's her name presides over, Ilhan Omar.
Listen, but this is the sad truth is that. You think about it, the most Jews that live anywhere are in New York City.
Yeah.
The sad truth is that you're going to have this, and there's going to be consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, this is when we make choices, we got to deal with our choices. I don't think it's hard for people to understand that, when we're so protected, I guess you could say. Or we have
sheltered.
Sheltered. That's a good word. By your decisions.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are ignorant. I'm telling you. My sister Millie said to me, "Oh, that guy Mamdani, he's a nice guy. He's a good guy. We're gonna vote for him." I'm like, Millie, do you know what you're saying? I had to explain it to her. And then she goes, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Like they're really.
Well,
they just
people don't really dig into the issues. They're enamored by surface level things. Someone just looking at listen to that statement. He's a nice guy. How do you know that? First of all, anyone can present themselves as a nice guy, and they know that surface level thinking it will get you 85% of the way there in most people's minds as voters.
Right.
I was just watching this thing about how Kennedy won.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I think they televised a debate.
Yes, that is a huge. It shifted the entire way debates worked.
Right.
Because the visual meant everything.
Yeah. So Nixon looked.
Yeah.
You know the way Nixon looked and his demeanor, even his facial expressions, that kind of changed everything.
Yep.
Versus Kennedy.
Yeah, because Nixon was leading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when people saw them on stage together, it changed everything. And then what did that do? That created a whole new focus group and marketing and PR campaign around how you appear to people in public and on TV, and you know how to make you look more presidential. And that lasted all the way up until you know who hit the scene. That whole way of doing things, but it still works, especially in the boomer generation. And when mom is talking about with her sister and a lot of these people, they're still fooled by those little tactics and they still look at those things. But I just wanted to play this clip because this juxtaposed to what he was saying with the imams and the Muslim community and how he wants to highlight that, and they're about equality in the city. And this clip was going viral. It says this Muslim online social media influencer in the UK was live streaming with his wife, and just see if you connect with these values on how they treat women. Did you see? You guys see this?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
I know who he is.
Hope you well, inshallah. She's not going to be in the video, but she's going to have her say with this whiteboard that I bought her. But why is the default that the woman is innocent and the man is always guilty? Okay, that's something my wife wants to say. Salama probably had enough as women give a lot of chances, has zero tolerance now. Okay, this is why I want you here. Yeah, it's very important for you to be here. Yeah, it's just to take the past traumas of their father or ex-husband, etc., and project it on other people. So, okay, she's saying she made the video, not him. I don't know his opinion. Well, exactly, there you go. Okay, there's nothing else I have to say. Anything you'd like to say? If you do, just let me know, inshallah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, told us. He went to the hellfire. Again, I know you guys are going to be like, oh, it's a reality check. Okay. And he saw a majority of the women of the hellfire. Why? He said, not because they are ungrateful to Allah, because they are ungrateful to their husbands. Anything that I said wrong is from Shaitan and myself. Anything good is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's anything you disagree on? No? Okay. Are you under any duress? You can blink twice? No? Okay, that's fine.
He's even making jokes about the fact that she's not allowed to talk on camera. And like her face can't be shown. And
this guy, he's Ali Dawa.
Okay.
That's his name. He's a Dawa guy. Anybody know what Dawa is? It's basically like
apologist
for Muslims,
okay.
But I would say even liars for Islam, because they straight just say whatever to try to get you. Like they'll lie about.
But they're allowed to, right? In their hadith or whatever, they're allowed to.
Yeah, they're allowed to lie about things to get people to accept things.
Yeah,
they won't or not tell you about something.
Right, omit certain truths. Yeah.
So yeah, he's been.
But I just found that funny because that's going viral at the same time Mamdani is like trying to talk about this Islamic equality and all of this stuff. Like they just want equality. It's like, but that's not equality. What do you call that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's so many liberals that are caping for that type of feminists. Like,
I mean, feminists for Gaza.
Yeah,
there's so much, or for Hamas. That's what. There's so much hypocrisy.
Yeah,
and like disconnection that you don't even get because you're so focused on there's a problem here for me. There's I'll say it in this way. There's an injustice. And you're so focused on the injustice that you miss the greater injustice.
Shout out to Amber on YouTube. Did you see? I hope you saw Amber. We added you to the church
she
group.
sent me a message.
Okay, awesome. So she'll probably be in there.
And you know
Sunday.
what else I have to say about Mamdani?
Yes.
See how he's bringing up Muslims
Yes.
during the debate, and see how he's making it like you didn't visit the mosque, you didn't do, because he's opening that door.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen if he gets in there. Oh my God, I can't even.
I mean, it's looking like it's not an if. Like
I'm hoping that
unless there's a miracle.
Well, that's why
That's a big lead.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of Muslims will connect with the left because they use it as just a tool.
Yeah.
And then when they get in,
Didn't we play that clip where the dude was saying like we like to target the left because
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like I think he's called like a Muslim modern. I don't know. He's still Muslim, but he's like he doesn't believe in the hadiths.
Okay.
It's like he's different, but he used to be an extremist.
Got you.
So he's saying, yeah,
he's telling you the tactics. Like
this is what we would do.
They like to align with the left because they don't agree with the left's beliefs, but they know that they can use them for their cause.
They know they're weak.
Yeah, they're weak. Yeah, right. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He's like, the Christians we can't go after. The conservatives are more strong-minded.
Yeah.
So it's easier to go after the left. I mean, look at what
Gays for Palestine.
Why would Ilhan Omar be Marxist, socialist, leftist if she really believes what she says she believes in? If they're really like pushing Sharia law in some of these little districts in Minnesota, like how does that align with the left?
Yeah, but again, like the whole way they get power is you focus on the small, minute things, and then show how there's injustice there, and you make it grand, and then people will. They're looking to those things. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about white supremacy, but marry a white man, do things like that. Yeah. I also want to show this. Someone put a compilation together because during the debate, Mamdani said he never said he wanted to defund the police. And here is every single tweet of him saying that he wanted to defund the police throughout the time here. This is back in 2020. This one doesn't say the date, but yeah, these are all different years, different times. He said it multiple times. So yeah, definitely a liar. All right, so moving on, I want to stay along this trend. Just going to lead us right into the stuff you sent me because there was another big battle. I don't know if you guys have seen this where a lot of black liberals, especially the women, the college educated ones, they are coming at Stephen A. Smith's head, like name calling him. They're done with him. He's a charlatan because he gave some constructive criticism to Jasmine Crockett. And you know, in that cult, you are not allowed to say anything about black women or else you hate yourself and you hate black people and you are a victim of white supremacy. No matter how terrible this black woman is behaving or no matter what type of lies they're telling or what type of criticism you have, whether you're nice about it or not, you just can't criticize. And he's done it to Kamala and now he's done it to Jasmine Crockett. So clearly he hates black people and hates black women and he loves his money and his job and that's all he cares about. But I'm just going to show this clip of him talking about first Zohan Mamdani, his take on if he wins in New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zohan Mamdani, who, by the way, I like. I'm not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the
So
president.
why would you like? What do you mean you like?
He's
Like
her sister. He's a nice guy.
Like-
He's a nice guy. Maybe he's saying like I like him as a man.
Maybe he met him.
Yeah.
Maybe he has met,
And maybe he could be a nice guy. He could be cool,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean he needs to be the mayor of New York or his ideas are good. That doesn't mean that socialism is going to work. That doesn't mean like what Stephen A is saying is like the country is not going to accept this, even if New York does. And if you're putting him up as one of the leaders of the party and the AOCs and people like this, So this is what he's
Senate,
saying.
Seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic Socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it.
And this was him, and he said this a while ago. And Mamdani has just been continuing to gain traction. They're not listening to Stephen A. So like him having any type of criticisms for the Democratic Party, for the left, he's just becoming a charlatan to them. So I want to play this clip of Tiffany Cross. She was one of the women that were fired from MSNBC. She's on a podcast and she brings up this topic of black men and Stephen A. Smith. Just listen to what she says.
Heartening to me. It's frustrating, one, because anytime we speak on this, it's like we, man haters and all this. But I feel such confidence in black men. I've never bought into the idea that all these black men are voting for Trump. Like, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. We're pretty much in line with each other. What you all are saying is no, they are, and the data shows that there have been inroads among black men. I want to ask why, because it is frustrating to me, and it feels heartbreaking, to be honest, because we are impacted by this system as well. It's not a matter of who's impacted worse. We're impacted differently. We sit at the intersection of being black and being women. And so when men are frustrated with this system, it feels
there
like
goes
they
that
fight
intersection.
us. And I
You
would
see
say
how that's how you view you. That's your POV.
That's your lens. Your lens for everything.
You see it as this intersection.
I'm a double victim.
Yeah.
That's what that intersection means. I'm a victim twice.
Right.
That's all that means.
But my point is that, like, that's where you focus.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not just this. I'm this.
Right.
I'm not. And it's so minute into who you actually are.
Right.
Right. And to who God created you to be. But when you do that, you're not even looking at God. Right.
Yeah, and her just blazingly saying that, black women and black men are very much aligned in their voting and not seeing that as a problem. Like, just like one unified mindset of voting all the time, just being, they don't see that as being controlled and brainwashed. No other demographic on the planet does that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we all think one way. And anybody who gets out of line a little bit, we kick them out of. You're not invited to the barbecue, or you're not black anymore, or you're an Uncle Tom, or you're a coon, or you're a sellout, or you're a victim of white supremacy. Like, nobody else does that. James used to have this theory that, like, they always try to paint the Stevens as the guys that kept the Negroes in line, like in Django, the Steven character. But he said, I think it was more the women, the house Negro women, that were able to sleep in a nice, cozy bed and were able to stay in, and they didn't want to get their lifestyle messed up. And maybe sometimes they did get perks from master, so they would, and they knew that there could be problems if things happen. So they were the ones that would convince all the other people to stay in line. And you see that the most with the Democratic Party. This people call that the modern plantation, the Democratic plantation. Who are the ones that are the most vocal about, no, we have to stay in line. We have to stay unified. We have to do this. It's black women, especially the educated ones. The ones that have gotten a little bit, they get like the corporate jobs, or they get like the government jobs. Who's the ones getting laid off from all the government jobs?
I would think, I think it's because women are made to respect, and that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And why respect or honor? Why submit?
Because that's what the Bible says.
But
mainly.
Why?
Because that's the order of God.
So
I mean, that's the ultimate why.
Because
it's going to lead to it's going to lead to the betterment of the entire community, of everyone, of your family.
Well, this is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
And I kind of talked to you about this. I think we were talking about this yesterday. The word certainty, right? When you want things to be certain, you're in fear. When you want, there's a difference between certainty and trust.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about trust. If you're certain, you don't gotta trust.
Yeah.
So that's what people want who are in fear. They're looking for what is certain.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, she's speaking from a place of, no, this is what's certain to me, right? It's actually not. It's actually an illusion.
Yeah.
Right? Because nothing is certain but God.
Right.
But again, husbands love your wives, but wives submit to your husbands, because there has to be a trust there when you're uncertain. Right? It takes you out of certainty, right? And then puts you in the place of having to trust.
Having to trust, yeah. Being vulnerable in a way where you can't control things all the time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we're going to get into like a little bit of how we got here in a little bit. And
well, you know what? Let me go into, so just looking this up, because I was going down this little thing about certainty, just to talk about the etymology of the word. It comes from the Latin, I think it's certos or certus, and it has to do with settle, to settle, or to establish, right? Or to be sure, like,
right?
So you think about settle, to settle something. Like if you think, okay, it's settled, like it's a false peace, right? Okay, when you settle something, that's why you think it's certain. When you establish something, you're building, right? This is where we get like strongholds from, right?
Yeah.
So when we have strongholds in our lives that are actually false and detrimental to us, right? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, right? But they're spiritual, right? For the pulling down of these strongholds. It's 2 Corinthians 10. And it's everything that comes against the knowledge of God, right? It's arrogance that comes against the knowledge of God. So you have pride and you have arrogance. Now think about this. Arrogance is connected to comparing everybody on the outside.
Yeah.
But confidence is internal. That's connected to trust. See what I mean? So it's two opposite things. Arrogance is always looking at everybody else and then comparing, right? And that's how you get certainty. You get what I mean? So that's a false establishment. But true establishment, and the false establishment is connected to the structures in your mind and how you structure and like create these systems, and I'll even say like images that you look to be safe in, right? Where you're like, okay, this is what it is. And when it doesn't look like that, that's where you get scared. That's where you can lash out. You know what I'm saying? And you know it's fear. But God teaches us to look to Christ, and it totally changes our structure. So when we give ourselves to Christ, we don't know him fully, right? So we learn to trust him little by little by little, right? And then he's commanding us, do this, do this. No, love your enemy. Love those around you. It totally destroys every stronghold in our lives where we were certain about, but wait, they did this to me. See, that's a structure, right? That's where you're certain, like, you can't do that. And you know how people will say stuff to you and it sounds true, right? And you have all these things that we say that seem true, and those are the structures in our culture, right? That we hold on to, and we're like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But they're actually lies, right? And God teaches us how to let go of those cultural structures, that false certainty, right? And causes us to trust. And I think that's what we're dealing with is women, it's harder for them to let go of those structures than it is for men.
Right.
Men should be leading in that way. That's why the command is for men to love your wives, right? In order to do that, you have to you have to let go of things quicker, right? You can't hold anything against somebody. You got to let go, right? And I think we were built that way in that type of strength. More than physical strength, men were built to be able to let go of things, and not internalize it, you know, in that way, but to love. And if you look at it, like one of the biggest issues with men is they don't know how to love. Right? They don't know. It's harder for them to love, right? But that's where our strength is, in loving. It's easy for us to respect. Like, I can respect you because you're doing this, and this, and you did that. You came to a conclusion. You had to build that in a certain way. I can respect you and see that you did something. But how'd you get there? You know what I mean? And those are the things where we have to challenge each other on. What ideas have you accepted in your life that will sound good now, but actually will cause you more damage in the long run? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, and I think there's also an element of like, black women have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder when it comes to certain things, because they've always felt like they've been listed as like the least desirable, or like the least educated, or the lowest income earners. So there's this sense of like, now is our time.
Something to prove.
Yeah, we're proving ourselves. Look what we've accomplished. Look, we're the most educated. You know, they say that all the time based off of this one news article that was framed in a certain way because they were showing the comparison between black women and black men, not compared to other racial demographics. So they take that and spin that, and I think she even mentioned that in this fuller conversation. Also, just like it's that DJ Khaled, we the best mentality. It's like we have to say that, you know, because I got to convince you, we the best. You know what I mean?
Right. But what are you doing? You're covering over what's there.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times, like, what do statistics do? And yeah, you can lie with statistics, but if you're honest in your statistical analysis, you're gonna be looking at things. Statistics don't tell you the solution. Statistics just point. They don't even tell you the root.
Yeah.
They just point to the outward thing. Right. So it's really just a symptom. That's what statistics show you. So in order to know why these things are happening, you got to go deeper. You know. So if we're caught up in the symptoms, then we're caught up on the very surface thing. Right. And that's now we want to hide it. We want to cover it up.
You're just suppressing things. Like,
But you're never going to deal with sickness that way. Right. If you got a cough, take some
Mucinex.
Yeah, and we find out now that it's not even.
It doesn't do
really
anything.
work, you know. But why do you have that cough? What is the reason behind it? There's a root cause.
Yeah, and you really need something that's going to help your immune system fight it. But let's continue, because I going to play the rest of this clip where she goes in on Stephen A. Because that's the main thing is we're talking about, like, anybody who challenges that mentality, you have to ostracize them and basically make them discredit them completely, because you can't have people that are respected voices disagreeing.
Yeah.
Smith in that category too. Like, I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute, pure, self-hating, little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own
why she got to go
ignorance,
there?
Exactly.
It is sad to me that he even gets an
if he
audience
did
of
that
black
to
men. Why aren't black men
her and to black women, I've never heard him speak like that.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm going to show you the clip of what he said about Jasmine Crockett that got her so mad.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
For her to go that far, and so let's just go to it. Let's just go to it, because you're going to be like, really?
Educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he didn't.
That's what he said.
He didn't insult her. He said
she was brilliant and educated. And she's powerful and presiding over all these people. And he goes on to just say, like, you're doing yourself a disservice to the people that you represent by not trying to make deals with the other side. Yeah. If you're going on TV and continuing to call Trump a white supremacist, and I think after he got this backlash, he elaborated more in another video where he talked about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just from him saying that, he became enemy number one. Because he told her, like, yo, just you don't gotta ghetto it up when you
be ghetto
when you in Congress.
Yeah.
And I feel like she does it on purpose because we've shown that that's not how she grew up.
Mm-hmm. It's a character that she created.
Yeah, that's the
But is it working? She done gone viral.
Oh, absolutely.
And people know her, but
it's raised her social status.
It can work, but again, like, who's judging this? Who's measuring it? Is it working where people are selling records? Porn sells. Is it working?
What is that doing?
Like,
right.
People are selling records about killing other black people.
Right.
Is it working? Yeah, in the wrong way.
Yeah. What do they? Well, who's the dude that they're saying NBA YoungBoy? He's selling out these stadiums full of people, but is it good?
Yeah.
I don't think so. All right, I got one more clip along these lines because this is Ketanji Brown Jackson. She's talking about arguments in March 2025, but ordered to hear the case again with the 14th and 15th Amendments in mind. Listen to how she frames this argument.
I guess I'm thinking of it, of the fact that remedial action, absent discriminatory intent, is really not a new idea in the civil rights laws. And my kind of paradigmatic example of this is something like the ADA. Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities. And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings. And it didn't matter whether the person who built the building or the person who owned the building intended for them to be exclusionary. That's irrelevant. Congress said the facilities have to be made equally open to people with disabilities if readily possible. I guess I don't understand why that's not what's happening here. The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system, right? They're disabled. In fact, we use the word disable in Milligan. We say that's a way in which you see that these processes are not equally open.
You hear that? What argument she's making there?
Yeah.
So she's talking about the gerrymandering system and how they're trying to create these districts that are all just black people to rig the system, right?
Yeah.
And she's trying to use the 14th, 15th Amendment because they had the Disabilities Act by saying that black people are essentially disabled because they're so oppressed.
That's crazy that you would even make that correlation.
But this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is the mentality, and
so
for some reason
you're lesser.
Yes.
So you're
saying that you have a disability.
The argument
built in.
was you're not lesser, but
Right.
then it turns into you're actually lesser.
Yes.
And you don't have the ability to do the things that other people can do.
Right.
That's what the argument
because of systemic
turns
oppression and racial.
Doesn't even matter
opportunities.
what you say because of,
Yeah.
because like at the end of the day, that's what you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we could talk about how you get there, but my point is that like the fact that you got there,
right,
is crazy.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had to play that because that's going to lead us right into the things that you sent me, which we'll go to. The first thing I want to show is this thing you sent us this morning in the group chat. I don't know if you watched this, Moon, but this was, I had never heard this before. Yeah, and I've heard like certain like narratives around this, but I never heard this specific case, which kind of blew my mind. So I had to look it up, but let's play it. If it loads, it's Instagram.
Last video, many people commented that the very first legal slave owner in America was a Black person. And I was like, I have seen this comment enough that I will look it up myself. I'm sure that this is completely untrue, but let's see where they're getting this from, where they can feel like they can say such a thing. You guys, I have breaking news from the year 1621. I feel like an idiot. If you already knew this, leave me alone. I'm doing my best. But apparently, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm literally shook. Anthony Johnson was a slave brought over from Africa. Okay, so what I did know that many people don't know is that Black people were not just, or Africans were not just stolen by Europeans and shipped over to America. They were sold by other Africans. I did know that. A lot of people don't know that. So this was not news to me. But he was sold and he was brought over as an indentured servant, and he was freed because he served his time. An indentured servant serves for a period of time to pay off a debt or to earn their freedom, and then they get to be free. And that was the model that was meant for the Africans in America. Hang with me because this gets crazy. He was an indentured servant himself. He earned his own freedom. He bought land, and then he owned slaves. He was the first, I'm gonna get there. Okay, he owned slaves, Black and white slaves on his tobacco farm. Are you kidding me? He owned white people? Okay, so he owns white people. And then there's this guy named John Kasser. John Kasser earns his freedom through indentured servitude because that's the model. And Anthony's like, no, actually, you're my slave for life. I know that nobody's ever heard of this, and this is not the typical model, but you will actually not be earning your freedom, and you will be my slave for life. So he goes to court, and he pleads his case, and he's like, you guys get back to me with a ruling on whether or not I can keep John forever, because I don't really want him to be let go. There are other reasons. There was a neighbor, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's like, he's going to be my slave for life. And the court rules in Anthony's favor, and it's like, we love this for you. Keep him forever. So Anthony Johnson is the first legal slave owner. It's the first legal acknowledgement in English America that an African could be held as a slave for life. And he was owned by a Black man who owned other slaves who were both Black and white. And when they were writing our history books, they were like, we don't need to talk about that. Are you joking?
Yeah, so have you ever heard this story before?
I heard this story before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard this story before. And I was like,
Tatum talked about that.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta look this up because it sounds.
Because he was talking about you know how the Smithsonian thing was going on, and Trump was trying to. Actually, I think that's one of the stories that he was trying to put in there. That's what Tatum was talking about, and you know, when I watched that video, I was like, that's. So it is true. I didn't do no digging, but you know, I watched his video.
Yeah, so I dug into it a little bit, just, you know, of course, using AI. And from what I gathered, he wasn't the first official, like, legal slave owner to own someone, but he was the first case law that they pointed to that ended up being what turned into the chattel slavery system. They used his case law, which is interesting because it's like he actually had a bunch of property. His family was very wealthy, but then that same system that he used to create his wealth is what ended up enslaving everyone. Mm-hmm. And then he lost everything because
So he ended up losing.
Yeah, all his
everything.
family ended up in slavery. They weren't free. Because from what it says here, it says his legacy. Johnson's story, it highlights early colonial fluidity. Africans could achieve freedom, owned property. The patented 250 plus acres he owned 250 plus acres by 1651. And he even testified in court. His family thrived until the late 1600s when anti-black laws, e.g. the 1670 Maryland statute taxing free blacks, eroded such opportunities. He died in 1670 in Maryland, leaving land to his wife and sons. Ironically, his legal win accelerated the very system that later oppressed most Africans. And then it gave some references that you can go to and read more about it. But yeah, so but the rest of that story is accurate. Like he had a slave he had an indentured servant that did his time, and then he went to go live with a neighbor. But the dude was like, "No, you ain't doing that. I want you back here with me." So he went to court and filed a case to get this guy as a permanent slave, and they've ruled in his favor. And that's ended up being the case law. But there was other people that were owning people at the time too, because these Africans didn't know the law. They weren't they just didn't. No one needed to go to court back then to you could just keep people by force on your property. You know what I mean? So some of these people that didn't know that they were supposed to be freed, they just were slaves. You know, so it wasn't like he was the first one to own a slave forever. There was other people doing it at the time.
He was the first one to kind of propel that into law and ideology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And create the
system.
Set up that system.
Right.
Yeah. It said he owned indentured servants, and by the 1650s, at least one African man named John Caesar in 1655, Johnson sued his white neighbor, Robert Parker, in Northington County Court after Caesar fled to Parker's farm, claiming he was an indentured servant, not a slave. The court ruled in Johnson's favor, declaring Caesar Johnson property for life, the first documented judicial recognition in Virginia of perpetual inheritable slavery for an African. This case helped solidify slavery's legal framework in the colony, but it occurred in 1655, not 1621, like she said. I think 1621 is when he came. That's when he first came. So it wasn't until the 1650s that he had this court case. But yeah, I guess the guy was trying to, he was like, yo, I served my time, I need to be free. And that dude was like, no, you ain't. And so he probably ran away, escaped, went to the neighbor's house. And the neighbor was probably trying to tell him like, nah, you can't. He says he's an indentured servant. You can't have him. But this just breaks that whole narrative that everybody was just, enslaving blacks, and if anyone got away, there was just a police force. They would hunt them down. Clearly this dude ran away, and the neighbor was keeping him harbored. You know what I mean?
And also
the white guy.
Yeah.
But also it's crazy that even how it became systematically put into place was through
a black guy. And the fact that they owned Europe, there was European indentured servants and slaves at the time too. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were taking them from Europe.
Actually, when I went to Williamsburg, Virginia, and they had this museum of all these Europeans that did stuff, and a lot of trade, woodwork things. I sent some pictures to James, but they came as indentured servants that got their freedom.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy that we didn't learn about any of this.
None of it.
And I think, and we talked about this before, this is why Alex Haley gets a little bit of flack for, because Roots, that movie, was a huge foundational idea of what slavery was to people. People look at that movie as historical fact, and even he has said that it's it's a story. It's not 100% historically accurate.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So there is a lot of things about the way it all came into be that we just are blind by. And I think a lot of that plays into the mentality now of the victim stuff that we're seeing, that we're pointing out here, and what we're going to get into with the mentality that a lot of black people have now.
Mm-hmm.
So going on to this next video that you sent me, this is a documentary that what's his name was shooting? What's his name? Was involved with the guy?
I think you're doing it out of order, though.
No, because this is the video about Black Wall Street. Isn't this him talking over this one too?
Yeah, but I didn't want to do that yet.
Okay, what do you want to do now? Oh, Stephen. Oh, that's right. You want to go into Stephen Crowder.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into that now. Okay, I got you. So Stephen Crowder, he was going viral because he used to do this series about black and white on the gray issues, where he would go into this barbershop and talk to black people directly, just to talk about issues, and they would, have these debates or whatever. So he opened that back up again, but this time it was a little bit more hostile. I don't know, have you seen any of these clips?
Yeah, one of the subjects that went viral was black fatigue.
Yes, he talked about black fatigue. He talked about reparations, a lot of stuff. So we're going to get into a little bit of that right here.
And you just want to, is when you have young white person going, okay, why is this happening? And people go, Black Lives Matter. And they go, well, hold on a second, I have an opinion on Black Lives Matter. They go, well, sit down, shut up. Okay, now silence is violence. And that kid goes, well, what do I do? By the way, you're on the hook for reparations, even though his father, his grandfather, his great-great-grandfather didn't own a slave, and he's still 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person the other way around.
Okay, so just before we go deeper into this video, I have to actually cover this claim here, that a white person is 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person, because I actually had to do a lot of research to come to a conclusion about this claim. I actually didn't find any evidence of this at first upon my own research, but luckily, Crowder and his team are ahead of the curve, and they have their sources at louderwithcrowder.com. Let's quickly go over those stats. So in 2019, for example, 3,299 white Americans were murdered, 566 or 17% were killed by black perpetrators. The same year, 2,906 black Americans were murdered, 246 or 8% were killed by white perpetrators. Adjust this for population size, and there are far more whites in America, 235 million, than blacks, 47 million. This means that in the year 2019, roughly 1 out of every million white people killed a black person, and roughly 12 out of every million black people killed a white person. And this actually reflects a norm. Since the year 2001, the number of black on white killings has approximately doubled the number of white on black killings. And when it comes to violent crime in general, the same sad truth applies. In 2019, there were 562,550 reported incidents of interracial violence. 472,570 were black on white. 84%. Now, guys, when I said that I did the research into this, I mean, I checked in every single Google search that I did, every single AI query that I put forth, all said that this was essentially a white supremacist talking point, until I went to the website and had to do the math myself to realize that Crowder was right. So if you haven't noticed already, the entire internet is controlled by the left. Let's move on.
What I'm saying is society is going to create a generation of racists. What do you say to that young white kid? What do you say to him?
Stop watching, stay off of TikTok.
Stop reading stats.
Stop paying attention to what these talking heads are saying, because they're leading you down the wrong path. They're leading you down a path of paranoia and conspiracy theories.
What if their interactions with black people in general are quite negative?
So same thing. Give the same thing in reverse. What about black people who've had continuous, not only historical, but personal experiences where they've been at the wrong end of white people?
I'll tell you.
And then we get told that those stories are invalid.
No, you're not.
Yes, we do.
You're not.
I've been personally told my story was invalid.
I'll give you an example. And by the way, the only thing that keeps my heart protected from racism, by the way, the only thing that protects me from not wanting to go out and kill the person who shot Charlie Kirk, because by the way, there are 2 people on earth who know what it's like to sit in that chair. Me and him. And I just did it at SMU and had to have entire bulletproof glass and an army to go in and have conversations, right? So I'm a little bit pissed off about it. Also, people try to take my life many times. So I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for anyone, white or black, saying, oh, must be. Yeah. You ever have someone show up at your house? You ever have someone show up at your house when your kids are sleeping with weapons being swatted? Like, we've been living through this for a long fucking time until you don't know what it's like. I will say this. My faith is what has protected me. My faith is what has protected my heart from becoming racist. But I've had a lot of negative interactions. That's why I'm sitting here. We'll have to edit this because it's just the word. By the way, if you want a relaxing vacation, stay home. Don't go to I know, but my kids love it, so I go there. Okay.
Where is he talking about going?
I don't know.
I thought he was saying Disney.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
there was a black guy next to me. Obviously, a dad with like his daughter and his son. And I was kind of looking at him. We looked at each other in the face, like, yeah, we know this is exhausting. And I know we have a lot in common because his wife or woman is probably in the room because he's there with his kids by himself. I was too. But then we were there at the water slides. My kids are 3, and this happened not once, but about 4 or 5 times, and it happened 3 times with one. Black kid was about 5 or 6. Shoved my son out of the way to get on the water slide. Okay, my son did nothing. Shoved him out of the way a second time, came back. My son's 2, 3 years, which is a big deal at that point. And then at one point I look over, Mom, no dad. And I just go like, hey, he's being aggressive. Okay, comes back the 3rd time. And I go, hey, hold on, you have to wait in line. You know what my son said? My son said, well, Daddy, maybe he's in a real hurry. We should let him go. That was a different interaction. That kid kept doing it to every other, and it wasn't the only one. And you know why? Because I've taught my kid, hey, You're going to have people who look different from you. It doesn't matter. You treat them well. That kid wasn't. And I'm telling you, along with the empirical, anecdotally, if you have a young white person who has these interactions on a regular basis, and I'd be lying to you if I said they were uncommon, while being told they need to shut up because of systemic discrimination, you're going to create a generation of racists.
But that child was poorly parented, too.
All the time.
That child was poorly parented. There's no way in the world. His mother shouldn't have intervened with his the first time. No.
The dad did nothing to say? There was no dad. That's to say that mom. No, I say because it's not a race thing. The dad, him and I looked at it like, dude, I get it, right? We're both tired. But here, this kid, I don't know, maybe the dad wasn't there. His mom didn't, and he shoved my son out of the way.
But poor parenting, though. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's poor parenting everywhere. And that creates individuals that grow up to be grown-up individuals. And some of those individuals end up getting positions of power.
The credit makes an interesting point here in terms of fatherlessness, and this is something that is endemic in the black community. In 2023, around 64% of black kids are raised in a single-parent household, the vast majority of which with single mothers. And the single motherhood rate has gone sky high in the black community. In the early 1950s, only 1 in 20 black children were born to an unmarried mother, and in 2022, 69% of black births were to unmarried women, almost 7 in 10. And this is just factually a huge part of what causes the crime. 70% of gang members, high school dropouts, teen suicides, teen pregnancies, and teen substance abusers come from single mother homes. And those teen pregnancies obviously only make this worse. 63% of suicides nationwide are from single parent households. 75% of children in chemical dependency hospitals are from single parent families. More than half of youths incarcerated in the US lived in one parent families as a child. This is a serious issue, and it is in all communities, but it's especially concentrated and pernicious in the black community.
Could we at least agree before the civil rights movement and now, do blacks have more or less?
So real quick.
Yeah.
So have any of you guys been in those situations?
But like
at the parks, yeah,
like
of course,
bad
children,
kids,
bad kids,
Right.
yeah,
and usually the culprit is
there's a lot of little black kids running around that are unsupervised and misbehaving.
Yeah.
But I've also had bad, little white kids too. Yeah.
Yeah. We had the one experience.
A bad white adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the was it the daughter?
Yeah, the kids were bad too.
Daughter was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know for me, I always tell my kids like, it's some people don't have fathers, they don't have people there. Like it's never should be a race thing.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
It's because we know that's very surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a correlation to race because it's connected to culture.
Right.
Right. And that's the point that we're making here. There's a correlation. And this is what they're going through, like these statistics. Again, I said this earlier. Statistics are not, they're not the root cause, right? They're very surface.
Yeah.
So these are just symptoms of a problem, right?
Yeah.
And it's there to show you there's a problem. It's not to try to cover it up. It's not to feel insecure about it. It's to show us, okay, now we have to look deeper, right?
Right. Hold on, I'm trying to find this video that went viral of this woman talking about her experience at an amusement park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it was right along those lines. And this was a black woman.
But yeah, for my kids, I always tell them like, because my kids go to school in Camden, and we got to deal with. It's to be honest with you, it's more Dominican.
Wow.
than anything. But again, I have to tell them like, this is why. Like they don't have their parents there, or some people grow up and they just accept their parents accept anything. So then that means the kids are going to accept anything.
Yeah.
So I give them understanding. I don't want them to try to make up their own or jump to their own conclusions.
Yeah.
I always try to give them an understanding so they don't do that, right? So they can have more sympathy for people and understanding for people.
Yeah. But then those people, because that mentality is never checked, you get Carnival Cruise.
Right. And my point is though, is that if there's a lot of people who won't do that, there's a lot of people who are very surface and they'll just be like, oh, see?
Yep.
And then they'll point to it. Look, that's why they're bad.
Yep.
See, that's why you don't, Puerto Ricans, that's why you don't mess with Dominicans, right?
Yeah.
Or Dominicans, that's why you don't mess with Puerto Ricans. Like, you can do that with everybody.
But that's what Crowder's argument is to them. He's saying,
exactly.
You're creating a generation of racists by constantly beating certain ideology down people's throat, and they have these interactions at the same time, and no one is addressing or having conversations or getting to the deeper root issues.
It's making it worse on both sides.
Yeah. Let's play this.
Because yesterday we went to Six Flags, and when I tell you the pure level of disgust that I saw in these black girls that you independent queens are raising is purely disgusting and disturbing. I literally left early because my kids were looking like, what the hell is going on? And this is in the Bay Area, California. These girls, all of them, unsupervised, in packs, unsupervised, no supervision, just running amok in the theme park. Multiple fucking fights break out, multiple. And I'm just like, okay, the police had to start patrolling the fucking park because these little bitches couldn't keep their hands safe. One little bitch about 12 years old talking about some, oh, fuck Jeremy, he's small anyway, don't want to meet me. What do you mean it's small anyway? Girl, you are 12 to 13 years old. And then these other girls like, oh, boo, boo, boo. And these dudes like, y'all are hella chopped. Y'all are hella, it wasn't even the black boys. It was the girls. The girls was fighting multiple fucking fights. Fucking parking lot shut down from fucking them little motherfuckers fighting. And then this white lady
Her language is crazy. I'm thinking like, you're a part of the problem here. You're calling them little bees.
This is like straight, this is judgment.
Right.
This is
that's what I'm saying. But she doesn't even realize that she was probably one of them little girls too.
Yeah.
Like just by her personality and how she's talking, like.
Right.
But again, she's saying not supervised. They're at the park misbehaving, But yeah, her whole reaction I just played that because it went viral this week, and it's right along the lines of what they were saying. All right, let's get back into this video.
There's been some bad and some good.
We have less institutional power, but you know what we don't have? We, as a community, we don't have the unity.
Well, here's the problem we have. So the last thing I want to ask. I want to ask you a question before you say the last thing. It kind of all throws together, and I'll just let you go.
Okay, go ahead.
Why was the black community one of the fastest growing economic demographics in the country? Why were there tons of fathers in the household? Black people were becoming great role models and integrating into society naturally. And now it's substantially worse than it was before Martin Luther King.
You know why it's worse? Yeah. Because of the fact that, and I'm going to say this openly because I can't get into the specifics, but I work for an entity that I was flabbergasted to learn this, all right? A black mother is always told if there's a man in the house, number one, then it's a no-go, okay? Look at the Section 8 Housing Authority. Now, here's what happened, and you want to know what happened, what caused the problem in Black America. What caused the problem in Black America is the fact that when the father became absent in the home, right? When he became absent in the home, it left the mothers to bear the brunt. So to answer your question, do we have more influence in some areas? Perhaps, but ask yourself this: do we have more influence economically? Because if you go back and you look, prior to the civil rights movement, let me tell you something right now. You had more black carpenters and tradesmen all over the place.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, that's right. But the problem is, again, if you agree with that, then you'll agree with the fact that if it had not been for the change in the systemic dynamics, that black men would still be in the home.
Right.
And black families would still be
federal government policy has not been instituted to help black people ever, but really to make them dependents of the state. When they were doing just damn fine without the federal government, that you want in more people's lives.
Isn't that the whole argument Charlie Kirk was making about the Civil Rights Act, that people missed the greater point that he was trying to say, and they can just frame it as a racist because a white man is saying it. And that's what they're going to do to Crowder and this guy if these clips continue to go around. They're just going to be seen as racist, even though they've gone to this barbershop multiple times. They've had many conversations with these dudes. These dudes know that they're not racist. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is interesting.
It's almost like reparations. My question to that is, why is that a problem for white America? And we were already one country. Because what? We are one country, and the problems of one community.
We're not one country. We're an entity. We're a corporation. The United States is a corporation. It's not a country.
Yeah, it certainly is. And with that attitude, we can never be a country. That's the attitude that people have.
Because it's not a country. It was never built. It's written in the Constitution. It's a corporation.
That is not written in the.
That is not written in the.
What is he talking about?
What are you talking about, bro?
He's talking about. Is that the sovereign citizen talking points?
This is
the YouTube rabbit hole.
It's the same rabbit hole of. You ever hear about the Council of Nicaea? It's the same.
Yeah. It's written in the Constitution that it's actually a corporation.
That's a lie. I even know that.
But the dude's probably never read the Constitution.
Yeah,
he just heard someone say.
But why he's bringing up talking points to keep himself where he is?
Right.
He's bringing up to justify his judgments and what he wants justice for. The minute things, right?
It's not a country. So what I'm saying is, when we were black people in our own communities thriving, like you said, doing our own thing, why was that a problem for white America? We were doing our own thing. Why did y'all come and burn down Wall Street, Black Wall Street? We had our thing going. Why is it an issue when we have our own thing going and we're minding our business
white America comes in and figure out a reason to, oh, that's wrong. Y'all are doing something wrong. That's not about the code.
No
That's not about the code.
one here's trying to justify clear racist policies of the past or racism of the past. Of course that existed. No one was arguing that.
Here's the thing.
It sounds like you're saying that you would want racial segregation.
I don't want racial segregation. We asked for equality. We didn't get that.
You're saying your own community do our own thing. Are you saying that we should be separate communities? That's what I'm asking. Are you saying we should be separate white and black communities? That's what it sounds like a little bit.
Separation may be the answer.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty.
So,
okay. All right, before we get into this, we got to go.
Separation may be the answer.
Separation might be the answer.
And if that happens, white America is racist.
Yeah. Well, it's only racist when they want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to create a white-only space, then it's racism.
I mean, I think, like, people make the... I've heard this... I've been hearing this a lot, especially with the Charlie Kirk stuff. Like, and with... what's the guy from 2819 Church?
Philip Anthony
Mitchell, where he said this is not a black church, right?
Yeah,
and then people have been saying the only reason why we had a black church is because white people won't let us into the church,
right?
Which there's some truth to that, right?
There is truth to that,
but that doesn't mean the issue with the black church and what Philip Anthony Mitchell is getting to is there's become a cultural perversion, and you're looking at black people have to talk a certain way, walk a certain way. There has to be certain things that you do in a black church for it to be
there's
a
markers.
Black church.
There's markers, and you have to hit those markers, and you have to think a certain way and be in lockstep with certain ideologies.
Right. So now, black church being okay, we're black church because we have to be a black church is different than what it has become today.
Right.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with you coming together and doing your thing because that's what you got to do at the time. No problem. It's when you pervert it and that becomes an ideology in itself.
Yeah.
That's when it's perversion. It becomes an ideology, which is idolatry.
Yeah.
Right? You're perverting the image, right, of Christ. Okay, they're not letting you in. Cool. We'll do our own thing.
Yeah.
Because that's not the point, right? What's the point? The point is Christ.
The point is to preach the gospel. Shout out to Papa Jeff, who's in there. Go ahead, Mom. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say that y'all have heard it before. They idolized the blackness more than they do Christ.
Yeah.
You know, not all black church.
Not all. But yeah, of course not all. But there are definitely certain ones, and they fear racism more than they fear the Lord. You know?
And they
what's our boy from
Jamal
Bryant?
Yeah, he's
the guy that is just to me, he's like a freaking walking meme.
Yeah, the way
he that Charlie Chris and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
So
you know that he's not doing no type of homework.
Yeah.
You can't even get the man's name right.
Charlie Chris.
So the one guy he brought up, the last guy who was speaking brought up what they did with Black Wall Street and that stuff. So the next video,
and that's something that we hear every time in these arguments because they point to that. Oh, that is a time when black people built their own thing and then white people came and burned it down.
Yeah.
And that is something that used to happen in the South. There was a lot of racists, KKK. There was a lot of people that didn't want to see, they saw black people as beneath them and they didn't want to see them succeed.
Right. But that doesn't mean well, that's not the whole story.
That's not the whole story.
And this is where you have, and this is where you're having a problem of, what's it called? Critical race theory that gets into the schools and perverts history.
Yeah.
Because you're only going to the talking points to get people to see history in a certain way, and that's perversion.
And not only that, you're trying to frame the present as a certain way based off of that history.
Right.
You're trying to indoctrinate the kids' mind and get them to think, put them in those boxes of ideology and say, oh, now we want you to see everything through the lens that we see it through.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so let's play this. This is a documentary done by
Chad O. Jackson.
Yes, and he's breaking down like some of the history that we didn't really get with some actually rare footage that was pretty dope to see.
There was a pastor in Oklahoma named Solomon Sir Jones.
He was able to film a lot of black life during this time in Oklahoma. The riot happened in 1921.
Talking about Black Wall Street.
Yeah, 1921.
According to Solomon Sir Jones's footage, Black Wall Street was built back. And what you see is life as usual. And then you fast forward even to the 1940s, you see the same thing. Successful, happy, well-to-do black folks. There was a past.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's all perspective, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's all how you see your life.
Yeah.
It's all, you can be, it's funny, like when we hear the joy of the Lord is our strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, you can have joy in the middle of chaos.
Right.
Right. And God wants you to go into chaos and create, right? Create what? True stability.
Mm-hmm.
And it only can come from Him.
Right.
Right. And that's what a lot of these black citizens were doing at that time.
Yeah. And they were believers, man.
Yeah.
They were in the church.
And there were other things that creeped in, which was communism.
Through civil rights, through these Marxist ideas being brought in. But here's another clip, right? The next following clip.
That killed those black businesses, the thing that broke down those black families, contrary to your narrative, is not this white Southern redneck racism. The breakdown came much later, in the 60s, as a result of a mindset shift, which took place under this progressive idea of civil rights. That's displayed in the difference between the way J.H. Jackson preached versus the way that Martin Luther King preached. When J.H. Jackson said that we are called as Christians to be men.
If you're not going to be men, braid your hair and start wearing step-ins.
That can be dated.
Is that a real footage of the church? Like how many people?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It back as far as black America goes to Booker T. Washington, which black men has been doing ever since. What Martin Luther King does is he comes along and says, no, no, no. Our manhood depends on our circumstances.
We haven't been able to be people. We haven't been men because of all of the conditions that we've lived with and the syndrome of deprivation surrounding conditions, whether it's in housing, in the economic area.
What does this sound like?
And the vicious credit practices that we face in the ghetto and all of the problems of closed doors and constant defeats.
X, Y, and Z has to happen before we can be men. And so you begin to see this shift in mindset. Black men move from being proud providers to entitled whiners. That's
so. If I look at my life right now, there are things that I have to struggle through, work through.
Mm-hmm.
I think if any of us look at our lives, we're gonna have things that we know we have to overcome, right? You can look at that and say, if I didn't have strength that came from the Lord, somebody could speak to my life and could point to these things and point to these weaknesses within me and say, this isn't fair, that's not right, and then point to the one who is responsible for it, which is
in our mind,
which is actually a lie because we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, right? But it's causing me to change my mindset. That's what he's saying. So you can do this with anybody, right? You can talk to people and just see where their weaknesses are, see where they're lacking, and then you can bring that back to them, bring it up to them, and then say, well, this is because of this, and this is because of this, and this is because of that. And I think this is what you see with when just that little clip, when you listen to the way Martin Luther King is speaking, it's not biblical.
Yeah.
There's nothing biblical about that.
Right.
Right? Because no matter what circumstance we're in, You know, why does it say, why is Paul talking to the slave and saying, obey your master?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about where you are now. It's about where you are now in Christ,
Yeah.
right? It's not where you are physically.
Right.
It's about where you are in your mind and your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what you have to go to, a different place, right? In the spirit. Your heart, your soul has to be seated in Christ Jesus with your spirit, right? And that's what has to change. But if they can get your soul to be seated somewhere else, that's when you become a victim. And they're literally talking you in to your soul being put back in chains and being put back in bondage.
Back in bondage, yup.
That's crazy.
Isn't that what like pimps do and like very manipulative men when they want to get a woman to like leave their man or leave their husband? Like they
Point out all
they
the
start
flaws.
pointing out all the flaws
Yep.
and they tell them all the things they want to hear to make it seem like they have all the answers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. All right, let's keep going on this.
The truth about Jesse Jackson. That's the truth about Al Sharpton. That's the truth about Roland Martin. That's the truth about fill in the blank.
Because to be black is to walk through the world and watch people doing things that you cannot do.
Black men are now known as professional whiners in this country, where our making it depends on what you are willing to do for us versus what our fathers and great-grandfathers did in terms of what am I willing to do for myself and for my family in spite of my circumstances.
And that's a beautiful,
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing that we can enter into with Christ. Despite my circumstances, there can be beauty there that inspires so many people around me, right? Because people are going to look like, wow, look at what happened. Look at what
Right.
they did. Look
Look
at
at what they built.
You know,
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful about what God can do in our lives. And you won't see it. You won't see that beauty if you're looking to the ugly. Like, and then that's what's turned. That's the epidemic that I think causes black men to become isolated. You can't talk to other black men because it's superficial. There's pride, arrogance, right? So everything is surface level.
Yeah.
So now when you're actually dealing with things, you have to keep it to yourself. So now isolation comes in.
I think that's men in general.
Well, yeah.
The pressure of society.
Yeah.
It's men in general. I think that's the attack on men in general. But I'm saying black men because I think that they're suffering from it at epidemic rates.
And it's a particular version of it that hits at the core of insecurities and traumas from the, there has been systemic oppression and racism in this country. That
So it's easy to point to.
Yeah, exactly. There's like, I mean, you can remember seeing videos of Rodney King being beat. You can see, there's things you can point to that have caused the trauma that you can then use as your reason for everything. So that's a particular thing, All right, let's keep going, Mom.
Uncle Tom.
Well,
See,
salvation
you
is
can't
free, son.
brainwash me.
Jesus said, first ye
Okay.
seek the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you.
Heaven is on earth, mind you, brother. Where you gonna go when we start our revolution? Whose side are you gonna be on? Are you still gonna be on your knees?
I will die standing up for God, regardless of any circumstance.
Okay. Have God ever told you to let this white man rule you like he is?
Well, young man, you first must be born again. God is a
No, I
spirit.
ain't born again.
Man, that talking back then, you foist must be born again. Like that accent has died. Like where did that go? That was a thing.
That's
You
crazy.
But it's interesting. Like even back then, the young black men, the youth, were rebelling.
Well, that was the 60s.
Yeah, it's the 60s. So there was like this uproaring, this rebellion rising.
Yeah, he's talking about revolution.
Yeah, talking about Marxism. They're being indoctrinated
these
into
are
Marxism
Marxist ideas.
And where are you going to be when we start our revolution? It's now 2025. Where did this revolution go?
Yeah.
But it's interesting that this man, but it's funny because you could tell like he's trying to give them that he's standing on Christ, but he still doesn't have the tools to break through to them, because they can just look at what he's saying as, oh, you're indoctrinated, even though they're the ones indoctrinated. But he doesn't have
it's again Second Corinthians 7. The weapons of our warfare.
Yes,
they're not carnal, right? They're spiritual. You have to be able to deal with these arguments, and only God can help you in that way.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't got to be born again. See, I was born in a new generation. Your mother could have brainwashed you, but can't nobody brainwash me. I'm ready. It's gonna take young boys like us to win the revolution.
These young people are saying that there must be a revolution of values in our country. Many of the values of so-called white middle-class society are values that need to be reviewed and re-evaluated, and in a real sense, they need to be changed. So I think the young people in the Negro community who are raising these questions are raising some very profound questions about our total society. In other words, they are saying that there must be a restructuring of the architecture of our society where values are concerned.
Okay, so I've always said that Martin Luther King was a departure from the way that black pastors, by and large, used to preach. They used to preach repentance, that you must be born again, that you must take up your cross and follow Christ. Since King was a Marxist, he bastardized the role of the minister by using the kind of garb of a Christian minister, not to preach the gospel, but to push Marxism, to push revolution. It used to be the case that many black youth had actual respect for their pastors. They had admiration for their pastors. In a kind of roundabout way, King emboldened the youth to talk down to their pastors and their elders. We talk more about this in the MLK Project, which is a docuseries that streams tonight. In fact, it streams right now. Comment SZN1 season 1, all one word. And
yeah, so that's interesting. Like how you saw that reverence change for the pastor, and especially like looking through the 70s and then the rise of Malcolm X as well. This just kind of fueled that fire of like not respecting your elders. They don't know. We know better than them. They're indoctrinated. They're fools.
Yeah.
And we don't need to worship this white man's Jesus anymore. You were gonna
Islam rose up in black communities in the 60s also.
Yeah, and you saw this departure from the values that was prime for the taking for Lyndon B. Johnson to introduce these governmental fixes to the community that was going to make them dependent on the government, because they already rejecting their fathers at this point. They're rejecting Christ.
Yeah. I mean, as human beings, we want to look to someone to free us.
Right.
For justice. The problem is no human can give it to you.
Yeah.
No government can give it to you.
Yeah. We're all looking for justice.
It's a shame that those kids, you could tell that they don't have any kind of understanding.
Yeah.
Because when he said, you must be born again, they didn't understand it. It reminds me of Nicodemus when, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, do I have to go back in my mother's womb? But these kids were like, well, I'm not have to be born
I've already
again.
been born.
Exactly.
I'm born into the new generation.
It's sad because you could tell their parents didn't teach them anything.
And I look at that, and I look at, because you know I done a lot of talking to the Move family from Philadelphia, and when you go back and watch a lot of their clips from like the mid 70s and early 80s, they sound just like them boys. You know, the revolution, talking about the revolution, but theirs was John Africa. John Africa gave us the teachings, you know, but it was a departure from Christianity, departure from the white man's world, the white man's government, the white man's this, you know, because systemic oppression and all of this.
Yeah.
So you see these ideas, and that their lifestyle was more of a communist, like a small version commune kind of vibe, where they all kind of took care of each other, homeschooled, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So that definitely had a stronghold in the black community through people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. They were really were able to infiltrate and push that ideology.
Yep. And if you look at even like what's it called? The Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
Right. there were a lot of people like came together and built their own schools.
Yeah.
And there were some good values there,
Mhm.
but again, like if the core thing is focused at injustice, it's off. It's
Yeah.
gonna be off, because where are you gonna get your fuel from to continue in that way? It's gonna become corrupt eventually,
Yeah.
because if you're looking to injustice, eventually that same injustice will come into this. And you see with Elijah Muhammad and how all the stuff he was doing, and he's preaching all this injustice,
Yeah.
but he brought injustice right into
Yeah.
what was called the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
And Elijah Muhammad brought it right in there.
The honorable Elijah Muhammad. Yeah.
And you see these type of things over and over again in those. I'll say cultish, because to me it's cultish.
Right.
I think communism is cultish at its root. This is why you can kill millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's cultish.
Well, look at most of the communist little, what do they call them? Why can't I think of the word for it when they all create these communities?
Commune?
That's not the word, but like the Rajneeshis, for example. Like you guys you watched that documentary Wild Wild Country on Netflix? Like
they called it a commune.
it's a cult.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was literally a cult. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like, you base these things on false things,
Yeah.
right? You're coming together in falsity. So now you have to stay in falsity. And the more you do that, the more you separate yourself from the truth. But you're in communion in a lie. Right? And that eats at the inside of the whole thing, at the inside of the commune.
Isn't that interesting? Like just the terminology of all of that, the inversion of communion, and like,
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, like we're supposed to be in communion with Christ, and
Yeah.
we even do the ritual of communion.
Yeah.
To refocus us in that way.
Yeah.
But
Take
there's
this
that
bread. Yeah.
inversion that says no, we're in communion with what was the terminology you just used? Injustice. Like that's where we're coming. We're trying to combat injustice by being in communion with each other over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it never works.
Never works.
So again, what are you feeding yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you look at that in terms of the communion, like you're feeding yourself this tainted body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This tainted life, this tainted blood.
Right.
And you're expecting that to give you strength. But it's giving you demonic strength.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's feeding you in the wrong way. But there's never gonna be real joy there.
Yeah.
So you're always going to see this perpetual like anger and vitriol. It's
steroids. All right, let's play this next one.
Yeah.
Be so brash, but I have to call a thing a thing. When you look at black culture, who leads it? Women. That's actually a curse. That's not a blessing. That's
This
a
is
curse.
crazy.
In the Bible, in Isaiah, it talks about how you will be persecuted by children. What's going on in the inner cities? Who are the gangs made up mostly of? Children. And women will lead you. That's not a blessing, that's a curse. Meanwhile, Roland Martin's walking around with a shirt that says vote like a black woman. That's crazy to me.
But he's looking at black men on his iPad getting caught. So he's acting like a black woman too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A black
he wants to
perverted
be.
woman.
Yeah.
He wants to be a black woman.
Yeah. And we just show that Ketanji Brown Jackson, like that. These are the black women that are leading.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
You know, if you consider her black.
Maxine.
Maxine
Waters. What's her name?
Maxine Waters. Yeah.
They will tear apart a true image of a man.
Yeah.
They will tear you down.
Well, listen to what that one girl said about Stephen A. Smith, because he disagreed. You know.
Yep.
Wearing a shirt that says vote like a black woman. Look, you dummy. The reason why black women vote predominantly for a party and for a philosophy that promises handouts, that promises to take care of you, that promises to be your big brother, is because they can't depend on the men in their home. And so it's because you fell asleep at the gate that your women feel that they must now vote for a politician to take care of them.
You ain't done more for black people than LBJ did, than Bill Clinton did, than FDR did.
For you, a grown man, to wear a shirt that says, vote like a black woman, is like saying, I don't want to be a man. I don't want to take responsibility and rise to the occasion. I want for the government to take care of me. That's what you're saying when you wear a shirt that says, vote like a black woman, who doesn't feel protected, who doesn't feel like her man can take care of her and of the family. That's what you are saying when you say vote like a black woman. The nerve of you. Sorry to be so.
It's kind of crazy.
That's very crazy, and I never looked at that curse where it says you'll be oppressed by children and led by women.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I never put that together.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And when I was in DC, Jess's friend actually talked about the people that committed most of the crime were the teenagers.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's there.
Yeah.
And he sees it.
He sees
because they arrest the same people all the time and they just let them go.
A lot of them are like 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds.
Boy, I will
carjacking.
I will whoop.
Yeah.
I will whoop some butt.
How did DC go on Saturday, by the way?
Oh, I never went.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't organized.
Oh.
To the liking of.
It seemed a little disorganized.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and plus, where we were going to stay there, they had family coming in from like India or whatever like that. So we didn't want to, kind of infringe on their privacy.
Makes sense.
So it didn't work out.
All right. Well, do you want to start on these?
You want to save it?
We could save it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it goes with this, but it's a whole other thing. But
yeah,
this was good though. This was like a good.
Yeah, I'll say I want to explain this. I was kind of talking to Jamie about this, and it's connected to being ruled over by women.
Yeah.
And if you think about communism, Marxism, they're just tools that are used, demonic tools, and you see why they're used. Men are meant to be the leaders, and that's not a bad thing, right? This is the order of God, right? When we go against the order of God, we have chaos, right?
Yeah.
Simple. Order, chaos. So demonically, there have to be ideas to cause division. It's the first thing that's going to happen. People are going to speak to women to be able to destroy the men that they honor and respect. That's going to be the first thing.
Yeah.
That's what communism does. You're going to speak to the women to get them separated from their men. And I said this earlier, to get them caught up in certainty and not trust anymore. Right? Once you have that happen, those women will do the job of the next generation of men growing up.
Right.
To cause them to be insecure in their identity and have no clue who they are. So then those boys that grow up under the tutelage of those women who have accepted these ideologies and have rejected those men who were their covering are now going to raise up men that are in their own perverted image, and those men are going to grow up in their own chaos and have confusion, delusion, feel isolated.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going to have depression.
Yeah.
They're not going to know how they fit in the world.
And then that just spawns another generation. It just continues to spiral downward.
It continues to spiral in chaos, more chaos.
And we were going to get into was this whole conversation that Kirk Franklin had with Jonathan Majors, NLE Choppa, who's a rapper. Ray J was there. And it's just a whole bunch of trauma talk and a whole bunch of like not being able to communicate and not being able to deal with their emotions and really feeling like they have no outlet, and even like debating over the Bible and stuff like that. We were gonna tie that into this, but we'll get into that next time because
Yeah.
that can be a whole topic within itself. But it does tie into what we're saying, where this you know, half a century of fatherlessness and like this whole Marxist system being brought into the being accepted in, it has created a lot of what we're dealing with now, especially in the Black culture.
And it's demonic.
Yeah.
At the core, because it literally is designed. It's a demonic design for men to bring in chaos and uproot people from God.
Yeah.
And it's so like when you see it, it becomes so obvious. You know, when you actually can see systematically how it happened, it's
and I honestly believe that like it was by design, because when you look at the trajectory of Black people and how much of strong families they were and how much they were heavy into the church, and they were like their faith was so strong, like there was a huge potential for God to use them in a major way.
Yep.
And he still will, I believe, you know, to use Black culture in a major way.
And if you look at how communism comes in, it always goes to the weakest places.
Right.
It's looking for the weaknesses. Where are the weaknesses? Because those are the places where you can easily show people injustice.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, this is happening because this. This is happening because
Yeah.
it's easy to show that, right?
Right.
And get people off of the focus of truth, of life,
Yeah.
right? Of joy, of love your neighbor, of love your enemies, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah.
All those things. And holding those things as standards in your life, right? If so, and it goes back to, what is it? Hard times. You know that?
Yeah. Hard times create strong men create good times. Good times create weak men.
Yeah. I would say that more than that, if you trust in the Lord, there's always going to be, he's going to lead you into hard things. Right? It's like Jacob wrestling with the angel. And his name was changed to Israel. What does that mean? To wrestle with God, to roll with God.
Yeah.
And wrestling, I was talking to Mom about this. Like when you wrestle with when a father wrestles with their son, you don't want to overpower them to the point where they just give up.
Yeah.
You want to overpower them to the point where they think maybe they can go a little further,
Right.
and you encourage them. Come on, let's go. You could do it. Like,
One of the early Jordan Peterson videos was about him explaining that dynamic, even in animals.
Yeah.
They even understand that. Like when they wrestle with their young, they have to do it to a point where they don't go too far,
Right.
Or else they'll stop engaging with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're always gonna. The thing about hard times is actually not that hard.
Yeah.
If you have the right perspective, right? And I think that's the key. Is we're always looking to God for that perspective. But when we think it's too hard, that's when we quit.
Yeah. Or when we take in these other ideas, we get seduced into these other ways of doing things, and we stop following God.
And a kid won't wrestle with his father if he doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
I think that's like the key, you know.
Yeah.
You won't wrestle with your dad.
Right.
So you're not even going to get in there and wrestle. And that's where we lose as men in the next generation.
All right, man, let's wrap it up there. That was a good place to stop. We appreciate everybody who's been watching, man. Shout out to all the people on YouTube who were over there. We had a lot of people watching over there. Make sure you guys hit the like button, share this video with your friends. Again, if you want to support, if you want these conversations to continue, if you want to just, support something that you think is positive, the Patreon is in the description there. You can join the community over there and just help us out, help us keep this thing going. Also, the merch store, Jatan.com/shop in the description as well. one last shout out for the show coming up, City Winery in Philadelphia area, November 1st. We'll be there in the loft. Get your tickets, citywinery.com/Philadelphia. And man, we appreciate everybody. I don't know what day we'll be back next week. We'll see. Maybe we might not be able to do it, but we're gonna try. But until then, man, God willing, we love everybody. Peace.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in.